All right. Morning, good afternoon, good evening. How y'all doing? I'm back. All right. And well, today we're going to finish off the moving around. Hope it sounds great. I'm not sure. As always, I tend to do my setup a minute before I go live. Of course, I have to spend a few minutes to fix every issue I tend to make, or create by doing so. So it is what it is. Either way, what I was trying to say before I, as always, go on tangent. We're going to finish off the UV mapping today on the oil lantern. And that's pretty much it. It was meant to be done during the weekend, but I decided that on Saturday, the normal streaming hours, I went to a friend of mine who had just moved into a new apartment, wanted to had a few drinks to celebrate, and a few drinks tend to often lead to a bit more than 2 or 3. Either way, I was kind of incapable of streaming the day after, so I had to push that stream to today. So I'm sure there's someone out there who can recognize that funny mistake, consuming a bit too much of the alcohol. Happens. It tends to, well, has decided to stay in Sweden. I'm burning up as always. I'm pretty sure everyone knew that by now because I tend to hit myself a few times. 1 second to activate my AC, or otherwise I'm not going to be able to do this. So that's why I'm not looking up and down. Now I'm looking at my audio mixer to make sure it's not picking up the AC. Loud. Seem to be fine. Alright. I need to focus. By focus, I mean we need to open Blender. As you can see on Notepad. Well, I'm moving my mouse around on my secondary monitor. She's like, oh, can you see this? No, of course you can't. I don't think you can see my mouse at all. Well, on my right side there. Just weird to point that direction, but either way, that's where we are. And the UV mapping, I said it's 90% done. That's pretty much, that's an accurate estimate, I think. Might be slightly lower than that. Haven't looked at all the modifiers yet and overlapping UVs. But it's easier to show rather than me just yapping on. So let's transition. And I need to kind of get my head back in where we were. I can tell the handle, that's done. Bottom, have this one where you have some weight to normals and data transfer stuff. That looks fine. Baking, fine too. I'm not sure. These cave corners actually quite a pain in the ass way. Save, and let's do an ink save. Copies. Apply. Time. Fires. Likely fine. Check what kind of modifier are you looking. So what's going to happen once I apply the modifier on this one, I'm going to have 2 UV islands. This is the one I've been working on, and the flip one. Fine. So this side, right side, will be overlapping the left side when it comes to the UVs. And I can't have that during the bake, so I need to find a way to move that to the side. That's actually quite easy. It just needs to be remembered. Let's apply. Look at the UVs. Make sure they are fine. They are. I'm going to do the select. It's actually called UV sync select. It means that if I select something in the editor or in the UV editor, viewport, 3D viewport of the UV editor, it's going to sync that selection across those two different windows. I need to go into X-ray and select this one. So what you usually would do in this case is that you would select your move tool. I'm now in move action. And then I usually go with the sideways, which is X. And you can go negative or positive, but you need to go in whole numbers. So you need to use 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I'm going to type in 1 and then press enter. Something. No, it's correct. Yes, because we do have that small cap down here. I was scaling it down. Now you can see if I select these, I probably need to fill up this. These are now offset, but they are still offset in a way that the texture will be recognized as part of. These UVs will still pick up the textures details I'm going to bake in, hopefully today. Since whatever's in this space, the 0 to 1 UV space, will also be in 1 to 2 UV space, 2 to 3 UV space, and so on. Or so not 2 to 3. This is well, I'm going to call it 1 to 2. It's not accurate, but it's 1 and 2 in X, 2, 3 in X, but it's still 0 to 1 in Y. Either way, I think you can get it. So I need to continue doing that. Go with next one. Third hook, same principle. It has a modifier, which is the mirror modifier. Like this. Oh. This. There we go. Move X1. Go. Boom. This one is. No, this is just a glass, isn't it? It is. Assume. Same. Now, downside to what I'm doing is, so this is going to be this plane. It's going to be the plane I'm actually painting my details on in Painter. I'm not sure if it's going to be picked up if I start painting on one of the others, because they are now within the 0 to 1 space. So all the details I paint on the active, let's call it that. Let's call it the main or the active one. Let's go with main. It's going to be a perfect replica across to the other side. So the downside is that from the player's perspective, let's say this face is aligned or pointing towards the player. So does this kind of, like to the side where the player can see it. All the details that are up in the left corner will also be seen this corner. I'm going to bank on the idea that it might not be that obvious, or if it is, I'm going to fix that. This one, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to take it's not a long shot, but it is a bit of a gamble that it will work out. Next, assume these are the same. And the same principle goes here. The details will be reflected. And we'll see them cross mirrored and everything. Great. Go. Stands. This one might be a bit more forgiving, because what's ever going to be on this side is pointing away from the player. So it might not be as obvious, and also it's a smaller detail, smaller geometry than the other ones. Will be fine. Will likely be. Let's see, select you, but I'm also going to invert sign, which is Control I. Same principle. E X1 enter. Now down, quite far enough to control everything. Second, sure everything is proper. Yes, then it selects our connected. Actually, apply this first. Then I'm going to do L, select, Control I, back to the UV editor, 1. A lot of repetitive steps. So, round. Could have potential, possibly. I'm going to try something. Apply. I'm going to wait with this one. So that is the last one. I'll get all you back. Select all of them. Face mode. Can I? It's a gamble. Well, not necessarily a gamble, but I'm hoping for just a little bit, tiny more, a bit of space to, are you? You're big. This might be the way I hoped. So what we're going to do, we're going to select you. Every other. I feel like we could probably have wider instead. So what I want to do is now not have a perfect replica of these UVs to that UV. And I'm going to use a UV Pack Master, the second version, because it respects overlapping when it packs for me. Packs the UVs into the UV space. And I think this could get away with this. We do have an saved. If it doesn't go the way I expect to have an option to fix that. Next. More islands. Islands are a lot easier to select like single islands with, because it does one click selects the entire island. If you have face, and let's say I want to select this entire island, I do. Yo, Pounds, how you doing, man? Just explaining some UV stuff here. How you doing? You're here from oh, sorry. Yep, got his name. Hillforts. Saw he was streaming. Or they. Let's see. Right. You're having lunch now? Oh, that's nice. I'm restricted. I can't eat anymore for the day. On a diet. Trying out some fasting. It's never fun because you have to stop at 8 p.m. Well, I've had enough food for today, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get hungry within like half an hour. Can't do much about that. Alright, so, alright, yeah. Island. Select islands. Allows us to select the entire thing. Try it. So how you been? It's been a few days now. I missed this weekend stream. Don't say it to anyone else, but I was kind of hungover Sunday. Just me and you, so I don't think anyone else can hear it. Right? That's how this works, right? Let's see. Do I have correct settings for this? I think I do. Did this earlier. Any part, yes. I don't want to do exact, because then the US needs to be exact, which what it does. It does what it say, right? Any part, we want to do heuristics. Hopefully this will work out. Good start. Doing the packed area is kind of decent. We're roughly 75% the entire UV space. That's good enough. Doesn't look like it's getting much better than this, so we're going to stop it. Best way to now select overlapping UVs. You have this add-on. Let's go back to sync. Need to have everything selected, I think. No, not have anything selected. But we need sync because we need to see them. Then with the pack master, we should be able to select. Need to have them in. There you go. The overlap check, make sure it shows me all the overlapping. Next, I can then move them all right, but also select this area. So select this, that one, back. What I want to see now is everything on this side is selected. That's perfect. Have to back. Pretty sure. Are you? Yeah, we can put this part back. Might have made a mistake. See why it takes us, because I realized that. Oh, right. But seems. The mistake I might have done is this section on the inside might not get the I might not get the ambient occlusion baking. I saved some UV space, but I might not get the details. Can't have that. Those need to do another bake. Turned. So oh right. Sync on. Then pack. Alright, we're doing fine. Percentage actually went up, that's good. Might have been too conservative with the use of UV space last time, so we're fine. Good. Alright, so let's do this one more time. Overlap. Question is, can I? Can't. Let's do it this way. Sure. This one. That's ironed. Check. All right. This part, although it is overlapping when these are the island part. Okay, so yeah, I only have two of each of those islands connected to this piece. So when I moved it to the side, it never the overlap check that was inside didn't pick up. So I need to this side. Entire thing. 1x. Cool. Something funny. This. Sure what happened there. There's an island left behind. Showed up. Sure. Well, it's close yet, so let's these back. They're meant to be. Seems to be overlap it down. That one from R. Oh, you're connected to this part. Great to have a second monitor, but that's occupied. What's going on? It's that part. Together with that, you pick you up. Oh, that makes sense because it wasn't picked up by the overlap. Checking one more time. Yep, that's it. Decent. So with that comes another boring part. Well, not as fun part. Let's put it that way. With this, I need to decide on how I want to range pieces of my model so that it's the baking goes as planned. And it will become more obvious or apparent where the challenge is once I get into this. Actually, we vertex groups only. UVs, so that's a problem, but sometimes, every now and then, the name of my UV island on each object, the same name, that's important. Claim. That is correct. Now I need to compare the pieces. So there needs to be exactly the same amount of high poly as low poly. Or when I explode the mesh, which is more or less what I do, is I move all the meshes, all the pieces side to the side. So I split them up, like an explosion. It's almost like each piece or each model has exploded from the center and just moved out a bit, offset from everyone else, to give it distance between other low polys and high poly. And I'm hoping to quickly rename the. What can I do? Or not to find them, have to. Or sorry, no, I mean, no, combining was the word I was also wondering. So I don't want to subdiv. Why aren't you? Fly. Oh, it's all right. Let's see. Oh, I can't. Let's see. I think the easiest one would just be just to apply all the modifiers, then merge pieces that works best together, and go from there. I can't see. I have a save, so I don't have to worry about should I make a mistake. I come back, fix it. It's always something I worry about, making a mistake and realizing, oh shit, I need to go back so many steps before I'm back to point I can kind of fix the mistake I made. In this case, though, I think we apply all the modifiers. I do believe I have a quick way to do that, which is not smart apply. Where are you apply? Is it that one? Might have been a mistake because now Blender is. Come on, you can do it. Perhaps OBS and everything else is just tanking my GPU. I don't know. It's never good. Circle thinking. Oh, there we go. Right. So here's my now. That's what I'm thinking. We could probably combine these into 3 meshes rather than whatever these numbers are. I think I can see it somewhere. 9, is that? I don't know. Either way, not important. So save just. You're going to see me save quite a bit now. Do not want this to stop. Solid. Firm. To save on this because I just want to confirm that all of these have proper high poly levels. Yep. I don't think we're. So let's grab all the. Have any modifier? No. Find them. Find you. Thing. I want to find all of these. Yes. Those happen. Up. Do that. Finally, we these. Now we're down to 3. The exploding this one will be easy. I'm just going to move them slightly up, away from each other. Or this one could be a centerpiece. These two could be up or down. That said, I combined you. I didn't want that. These, I'm going to press P. Extract them. So now the baking is good enough. I think I'm going to try not to explode them first, just to see if I can pick up a better ambient occlusion. We'll get into that later on. Now, let's see. Lantern. Bottom. To activate the caps. Typing has never been part I'm good at. Lantern panel. High. Lantern top. High part is important since it's the prefix, or in this case, no, it's prefix because yes, it's prefix. No, suffix, right? After. Either way, it's important. It's a type of X that's important for Painter. I losing all the words. Because that's how it determines which mesh to bake, which source to use, and which target. The low poly is always the target. The source is always the high poly. Mac. Then selectable. Let's just try and do combine, see what happens. Then hide, then do this. Fine. Did I mess up something? I did. Hide. Do. That did though. Why? Let's try it again. Why are you? Because something affecting custom. Where that data. Can try with that. I know it looks exactly the same as before. I want to try bake with everything smooth. Same with this. Assume. Mistake. Let's see. Something in my head tells me this should be correct, but at the time looks like absolute horse manure. So we'll see. All right, next we need to match the names. Bottom. This. Added naming in the second. So a quick way to do it. Lazy. Quick way. Not the quick way. All right. Now you're really not sure why this is happening. Shouldn't be, or roughly no. The one you rename tends to get the triple numbers afterwards, not the original one. Why it's that? Tell, probably some linked data somewhere. Fix that in a second. Tap. One thing I usually, I'm not sure if it's actually necessary, but I like to name my object data properties. Top one here, same as my object properties. Same name, but I just drag this into this shelf. Should have the same name. Just gonna fix that. And you can see where the name comes from, or where it's see it in the outliner. I see these are same. All of these. If I open it even further, I can see the name of the texture they are all using. And a quick way to close all these is to shift click top parent one, and now they are closed. And in the same way, if you hold on shift while clicking this one, you can also unhide them all at the same time. All right. Let's see. It's probably going to be, I do have a feeling. I want to add this hard edge each seam. That will make it look better. Let's try. If anything, I'm going to get an answer. High, low. Now, rid of these. So, by files, backups. All of these are in a different save. So these, I mentioned these before. If you're new here, if you weren't here when I did mention them, these are automatically added to my scene because of an add-on called Send to Unreal, which just makes the process of sending stuff to Unreal a lot easier and more or less, I wouldn't say automated, but there's less hassle, less clicks, so it's a faster process. So I would recommend looking it up. It's a free add-on called Send to, which is actually the letter 2. Send the number 2. Send to Unreal. Or send to UE. Might be sent to UE. Let me, yes, I'm not throwing around names all over the place. Always send to Unreal. Yeah, it seems to be no, exactly. You would have to look for send to UE. Or I'm assuming if you just type in Unreal, send to Unreal add-on for Blender, you'll probably find it. I can highly recommend looking at it. It's a great tool. So, just double check. I need to double check multiple times. UVs, fine. All right. Let's start with these. And this is also an add-on. Usually you would go to File, then Export, select the FBX export. I'm going for a quick shortcut, which is when I press Control S, I guess this pie chart, another add-on, and then I can select export that way instead. Remember where I put this? I think I put it in section. Make a new folder, call it export. We need to presets. I can show you where my path, but what you would do is you would create these presets, which are fairly easy to create. For baking, I think that's the one. So usually you would just select, this one is probably by default, but then you would go with mesh, because I don't have any of the other objects included. And you probably shouldn't when it comes to baking. The empty probably doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. I would never use it. Custom properties, sometimes we use it. We are like, I could probably show off one way to use custom properties later on when it comes to LODs for Unreal. But well, I'll see. Might not go to that. So next we can pick forward and up. In my case, I'm just going to copy what Blender has, I think. No. I'm going to copy Painter, and I believe Painter uses X, Y. Not 100%, but we'll see what it looks like in Painter later on. Apply units, that's fine. Geometry, I don't think you have to actually do anything with these. I would just have apply modifiers, and especially triangulate. Triangulate you need. Apply modifiers, in my case, I've already done that, so I don't need it, but it could be a nice thing to have selected at each time. Armature, this one is usually on. I tend to turn it off. In this case, it's probably not going to make any difference at all because I don't have any rigging and things like that. It's just a habit, and it's a safety measure. Either way, and I'll turn off bake animations. It's just a just in case thing. And let's see what did I call it? Default baking all small letters. So we're going to add this. Call it default baking. I believe by doing this, you can name it whatever you want. But in my case, I want to overwrite what I just had, so I have the same preset. So just press OK. Double check that by doing another one. Back to this one. And we can see XX1. Yeah, all looks fine. And we're going to call it lantern. Call it oil lantern. Low. Again, I'm not still used to having my mic in front of me because I can't see my. There we go. Export. This is the usual way to export anything or save anything. You type in the name in a little window at the bottom. We just went through the more unique way of exporting Blender. Oh, sorry, that was the high pull, wasn't it? All right. Okay. Survive. Okay, I need to review that. That was the high poly, not the low poly. Just the same process. Likely the preset we just used already assigned to all the settings. We call it oil lantern high instead of low. That's done. There we go. Low poly, disperse, low, preset, make sure. Yeah. Yep. Go. Gonna keep Blender open. I'm pretty sure. But I'm kind of 50-50 on the smooth shading. The reason I want to do it is, and I didn't look this up, a colleague of me explained this to me. If you have a hard edge, and I'm probably going to mess this explanation up, but bear with me. So once you send a object to a game engine, or in this case Unreal, with a hard edge on your model, that's just a way of shading. And instead of having this soft translation, I can have a more realistic way of shading in a hard edge, like a 90-degree edge. Or either way, the way the engine then recognizes that hard edge is that it's a separate mesh, something along those lines, from the other UVs or the other parts of the model. So it takes up slightly more compute time. I don't know if that's actually true. If it is, we're gonna go with the idea that it is for now. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of shading stuff that's looks terrible. Launch Painter. Some 50-50, maybe 45-55. That would probably need to change that. Right. Painter is up. Create a new. Let's go with Unreal start at sets. As good as anything else. You can select the low poly. Now you've seen path, so I'm not sure why. Word. Export low. All right. Yes. All right. Can't do that yet. Forgot something. I forgot. We're going to create a material. This one is to go. New one. I'm going to call this one lantern oil 01. It will be more apparent why once we get more into the texturing. It helps us when it comes to export of texturing at some point. And it needs to be assigned to all of them. So we're going to do a link, which is Control L in this case. Once you have all of them selected, then you press link. Now you can see I have a 3 next to my name, the material, that means that all of these now are using the same material. Other exports, low poly. Now we can go back to Painter. Start to select low. 248 is good. Do DirectX because that's what we are using. We don't use UV title, UDIMs. We don't import no. We don't have any baked maps. One of these. Press OK. Here we have it. Mesh is now in Painter. Leave. Been a while since it's baking Painter. So I need just a few to find F8. Oil lantern, 40k, 42k. Well, actually, we're gonna output 4k. Don't think we need that big of a dilution. Try 8. Select high poly. Distance based. What else do I have? Static. It is experimental, but it could be fun trying it out, couldn't it? Not sure what's going on. Right here though. What's that? Custom file will be probably you would use another version of the low poly that's slightly thicker, like it's been extruded outwards, so it's encasing the low poly. But let's go with distance based instead. It's a bit too. Oh, it's too big. Let's try these. See what we get. Average normals, match by mesh name. I ignore backface, anti-aliasing. I never go fully anti-alias with like 62. That's insane. 4 is more than enough for a lot of cases. I think we are good. We don't. Let's see. Normal. Yes. 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 Don't need thickness. Height. No. Opacity. Sure why we would need opacity. We don't need opacity. There you go. Let's try this out. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. Yeah, I can already tell that we're going to have to do some adjustments. Yeah. Let's start with the normal paint mode. And right away, we can see that my initial thought of using the smooth part is not going to work. And we can see other issues too, which is, see right here, struggling with good baking. So this is not going to work. And we might have to explode more pieces. Kind of hoping to avoid that, but yeah. The quickest way to do this will be to select all, then select similar, is it? Yes. Seam. Okay. Select one, then select similar seam. Then we're going to make these mark as sharp. Normals, auto smooth, 180. Add more. Fix this too. One thing at a time. This part. Now we're going to select sharp edges. our edges equal to 60 or greater. No, you captures more edges than I want, so I'm gonna have one at a time. This is gonna work. Kinda. If I want. Sharp. By you. Now clear. I should. Sharp to side. Again. Seems fine. Apart from to be sure. Double check what it looked like. Not terrible. I mean, on top, the top is kind of nice still. I'm well aware of the artifacts we have underneath these things, but other than that, since fake, it looked like terrible. Let's have a look. Textures. Projects. Look. Try and export because I want to see a larger. Let's see. We're getting our nail heads. Worry about this part. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking this one. Let's see what we can get from these few changes. Need to project configs. I have to select this is each time. Let's see what's that's right. Forward quite a bit. Right, O2. Right, tab didn't work, but let's try it out. Like initially, it went by quickly, but it looked better. Let's see. All right, so we're a bit too short on the nails. I need to increase this ever so slightly. A few of them looks great. This part is definitely a lot better. I don't have the weird fakes side. These are more or less on each other, which still been issues. Might have to do these aside. Shading issue on these are not. So I'm going to fix it either way, but I think we're fine. But initial thoughts, a few things we need to fix. And let's fix the nails straight away, which is an increase of values. Oh yeah, okay, that's a nice feature. I didn't know this existed. So you can see these are now red. Means, of course, in this case that they are outside of our cage. Make sure there are no more of those red. 0.07. I tend to have to go with the same across both. Oh, you were still outside. Okay. Yeah. Let's do. Wait, didn't notice. Are there any issues? No? Fine. Up back. Oh, there we go. Issue. Why sections having such problems? I don't want to go too far either, because if I do, I'm back to what I were earlier, which is a few artifacts surrounding the mesh. Seem to be still within fairly reasonable values. That's just a tiny bit on the inside. And some that part. I have to do exploding. Throw in some dynamite. Yep, let's do that. That's a good thing. Good chance to kind of show you things you can fix these type of things. First of all, let's make sure shading is proper. I think so fine. This one though is turbo. What we're going to fix that. First, remove my cursor to add a cylinder. A lot smaller. Just that. Beat top and bottom face. Edit more. Editor. We're going to do something called data transfer. A neat way of transferring various, well, data between meshes. So this part's smooth and everything. We're going to want to have the same effect on these side. So I'm going to, I think these are only enemies. The only problem we have. Vertex group sign. Add a modifier called data transfer. Workers group is called group. Place, yes, it's fine. This is source. Picker. Base normals, I believe. Custom. There we go. Straight away, we can see that this section now is fixed, but I can see apps go around. Purchase group. Apps, that issue. Yes, it does. On the inside, that is that. It's not going to be shown. You're not going to see that part. So, right. I think going on. Funny. Why is that happening? Huh. That makes no sense. How had that make? Huh. Yeah, that strange. Apps. Apps. Okay. Don't know why that was the solution, but it worked. We're fine. Oh, and if you're curious, the one of the atoms has a quick button to what's called face orientation, which is a good thing to look at, because if you use this, and you can find it. There you go. If you have face orientation on and you see it red, everything's red. Then show you well. This, that. Let's flip it. If it looks like this, your bake, your mesh, everything, it's not going to look great. First of all, this part's going to be invisible in Unreal or any game engine. And in Painter, the baking is probably not going to work. I would say it's not going to work. So the best thing you can do is to, in a Blender, select everything, all the faces you want to fix, and either do a flip. If everything's red, you can do a flip. You can also do something called recalculate outside, and I believe that's the one we're going to use, which is it looks at everything and checks, hey, should I be looking towards the outside of the map? That could fix. So let's say I have a single one or few of them, like so. I can select the entire thing, go Alt-N, and recalculate outside. I can also go Shift-N, does the same thing. And that apply. Hopefully, when I delete this, everything looks. Another save. So now we're going to do exploding parts. Oh, you have the same problem. Do you now? No, I probably could just sharp. Yeah, it didn't have the same problem, but other one. Make you sharp. Same view. I'm noticing shading. These small fine tunings. We're going to make use set to face, which is another Alt N option. It just flattens that face out. Good thing to use, but I would be careful though, because unless you have a bevel, and protect this part. So if I do it on this one, you can see that it gives me some weird shading issues. It's not that bad. I wouldn't use it. But if you have a bevel, you can kind of protect this face on the side. Other save, and we're going to explode. So process. No, we're actually not going to try explode. But if you wanted to try explode, you would just grab this and move it upwards. Not explode it, right? What we're going to do is this instead. We're going to separate a few of these assets. I'm selecting normal, perfect. This one, I'm going to separate these. It did occur to me that I believe Painter has a very smart way of keeping these fakes separate using only names. That's why we were trying to use names earlier. Let's do lantern, handle. Let's do low. I'm going to copy that. High poly. Same thing. Separate them with lantern high. No, sorry, lantern handle high. That. Or what were the? Let's separate that part too. Top. Select. Pick this one. I think. Nails. All these. Let's call you chimney. Name format. That's correctly spelled. I did. That is. Pick the side. Oh, chimney. Top. These two. Right. Fine. Of course, that we need to match low poly. Top. Select. We're going to do it this way. Then I need to rename this part. And so name's correct. Low poly. All right. You taking notes, pals? I just removed that one. There we go. Every now and then, these bots jump into stream or chat, kind of. Big. Okay. I also need to update. Let's just try it. I'd love to see if I could. I see the various. Oh, missing seams. Hard edge. That's a cool. They consider that being an issue. Ah, really need to look up whether or not hard seams or seams are supposed to be hard edges. I mean, properly look it up. For now, it looks like we're getting away with it, but match by name. I could say we got away with it, but I got away with it. Having all. Looks like LDM inclusion is there. The issue we had before in this part is now gone. We do slight, ever so slight one up here. Such a tiny detail, especially not underneath geometry. Makes no sense. And then we have white. I mean, yes, there are issues. My God, such a small thing. And again, I've said this many times. This is the angle the player is going to see. Are those like, let's say there's 1,000 pixels of 1,000,000 or more. That's slightly off. It's not worth it. Better to look for absolutely obvious things that you know will be an issue. Or perhaps here we have something we might want to look at. That's horrendous. That might be a hard edge. Have high poly. Perhaps I was onto something. Having everything smooth. Save, just in case. So again, I do want to like kind of move away from this, but I will absolutely what should I call it? Not hate myself, but I will be absolutely angry with myself in the future if I don't fix this now. It's worth it. That extra time. It's very much worth it. Here we can see an issue with these two. And I know what I should do. I'm gonna see what the result is by doing this. Baking now that we have a smooth edge. But something hit me. Which really obvious thing to do. So let's go down to the low poly or the bottom low poly. What I should have done is this part should not exist. It should be one plane. So that means that fix that I have to, first of all, fix the model, the geometry itself. I also need to go back to the UVs, update those. Such a pain. We're going to do that. I'm not going to. It's not. No, we're not. It's just too much time. Instead, isolate this part. Should we call you though? It's always an issue. Down to bottom. Call it inner flow. Thing. Correct. Did I move it? Did we are looking at the last thing we need to do for the bake is done. Heading automatically on. That is not correct, is it? I think we made it worse. Awesome. Awesome. Why though? Sure, it's not a matter of reloading these things. Probably not. Okay, so it might have been a well up here. I don't like. It's not going to be shown to the player, but still. Going on. Two. Flap thing. Holy. And this time overlapping person I can tell correctly. Issue. Straight is it? out that I was selecting all the way around. Are you not doing that? What's going on? What's going on? It's meant to select all the way around. Selecting parts. Huh. Always fun. Try and increase. Apparently there is an issue because you see it in the trees too. What's going on? If we angulate and move back to work, try this. Be able to select borders. Somewhere. The add-ons. Found. What's going on there? It's to be fixed somehow. Try that. Oh, started to come. They combined now. That what's happening? Something's. Oh right. I did a instance merge. It's no good. And if we can use a previous save to hopefully save this. It's the append. I append the entire thing. Going on. Way to back into Hmm. Option. I'm pretty sure I saved another increment, but save this. Old save. That. Those. That's the. Of course, these aren't matched. That would be doing things the easy way. Far off, are they? Then enough. Perfect, I guess, but the thing is that it doesn't flap with. Check the. It does look slightly larger. We're gonna do this. Disable the sync. I can just allow the sync on. Should be able to sync on. Those. Scale. It's close. Let's see. Oh, in the part. Enough. Close. Said that for quite some time now, haven't I? I think we are close. Annoying to have to. I just did, but it's part of it. Baking, like the quality. Kind of amazing that it can generate 4K this fast. This. How about this? Top. All right. That part too. Got by that. Second. Hopefully it's just a single setting. Are we done? Fine. All right. Forgot about that. So the only thing that's missing, I believe, are the nail heads that are slightly skewed. It's kind of annoying. Small pinching is not the entire world. Apparently I need to add a slightly bit more cage. Are you? Don't tell me. You are. Of course you are. Quick fix. Oh, you're. What now? You know, find orange. What's going on with this? Genuinely. I'm walking around in circles with this one. Participate now. Cooperate. That's what I'm looking. This happened. I was working on the UVs. You're using the sink. Up. What else? That's up. There we go. Why? Done now. You're done. Ever so nice. Nothing but staring at that. Alright. I think the hyperbole is fine. Okay. Crash on me. Oh, Not gonna work. Linking. No. Do that. Oh. Add it as non-selectable. That's why. All I ask is for this to work. Can't be too much. Just can't. I need to. I still forgot about the damn spikes. Close. Are very close. So looking at this, I can't see an obvious issues. Thing is, the way I'm imagining fixing, that's really hard to show on stream. Really small detail. If I can find one that's more obvious than the other ones. Apps. Go. This is the closest it gets. So what's happening is because of the angle, I'm averaging the normals that it's looking for, or sending out samples, things like that. I believe that's the case, and what's happening, there's a slight skew on my nails. It's leaning to one side. It's really small. I might not anything about it, but I'm going to try one thing. Double check because that pass. It's all enough. So I could try, instead of averaging normals, try hard normals. That might not work. Well, that doesn't look like it's going to work. Nope. Call it. Well, it worked on the nails, but everything else has these ugly artifacts. Yep, we're not going for that one. Back to the drawing board. Rather, back to previous settings. Average normal it is. I mean, what we could do instead to really properly fix those errors is that we bake the nail detail separately and we paint it in Painter instead. That could absolutely fix that issue. That's still there. Why is it still there? I just looked a lot better earlier, didn't it? It didn't. Wait, I'm gonna call the baking here. It's done. Right. It's no obvious. Beneath that thing. Alright, there we go. Save. Correct spot this time. Falling. Time is it's almost 11 o'clock. probably get started with a bit of texturing, placing the base stuff. Let's bring up F. Let's see. References. Have it on. This is good. Yeah, this works. I need to decide on whether or not I want to go for like a super rusty type of look, which could be probably the best choice. I'm imagining that if this lantern has been used in a coastal area, that's the setting of the game, which is on a next, like on a lighthouse, island, isolation. So if you're on this place and this is a lot of old stuff, I'm imagining they are not swapped out all that often, things. So that makes sense to me that we're looking at. Right, it's not good. Fix that. What we're looking at, something paint has probably come off. Instead of looking at that way, we could also go with the idea of having specific color that could suit the scene we're looking at. And in my head, a rusty brownish tone might be boring. What else? I'm not super fond of that greenish blue or bluish green either. What else could we go for? Go for red. This doesn't stand out. Everything else will be this dark saturated dark grayish fog. So if we have a red lantern center of, well, at slightly offset from the player's view, would stand out a bit because it's red. Now, I'm not sure if I want the color of the lantern to stand out. It's already going to be quite obvious to the player where it is, like in the scene either way. We also have the emissive part of the lantern. For now, I think I'm just going to add a rusty color. Have a rust. Do have rust. Metal rust. Nails. Large rust leaks. Actually, now that I think about it, did I create an ID map? Did I do that? I mean, it's probably not that necessary. I can use the UV tools that are in Paint to quick select. But if I change any type of UV mapping or low poly model, I'm also going to have to change that map. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Should be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ID map. Texture. colors, all of those things. That's it. I'm not going to touch the baking, I swear. That was the last time I did any baking. So both the UV mapping, the low poly, the bake, all that's left now is texture itself and a final low poly that's going into the scene, into Unreal. And that one's going to have two pieces. One is going to be the handle, one is going to be the main body of the engine. Now, let's just try out rusty color. Really, really red. Just as, I think we should go for this one. It's kind of leathery, isn't it? Or is it just me? Because that doesn't scream rust. It feels more... I mean, it is obviously rust because it's a metal thing, but it feels almost like this part up here is around about leather. Or am I imagining? It is late. Song. Do a mask, right? So let's start with a black mask. No, that's not what that is, right? But did I add a generator? That's correct. Okay. You can do paint. You could add the mask straight into this section, but instead I'm going to use a paint layer. I feel by doing that I can add things on top of it that affects the mask, rather than if I have it on this. I'm not sure what to call it. The white mask part of the layer. Whatever I do underneath it, it's just, I don't think it's going to affect it that much. If I remember correctly, it's been a while, but I do remember using paint layers to affect the mask itself. So I guess that kind of answers my question itself. Let's see, where are you? Where is the UV tool? There's supposed to be one. Projection. Oh, polygon fill. Yes, polygon fill. Black. That part. Full polyfill. That is rust. That's glass. Okay. Able to use my entire window or monitor, which is quite figure something out. So everything that's now black will not have that rusty color. You can add a wood to this part. We have glass. Let's do exclude. Let's go back to part. Don't do that anymore. Yeah, that's way too reddish for color. I'm not sure I want to actually match colors exactly. A bit too much, yeah. But I don't want to go the feeling of leather either. I mean, this is probably like real life correct. this is Adobe. I assume Adobe knows what they're doing when it comes to colors, but yeah, I do agree with you. This is probably a time for more artistic freedoms. The question is, are we looking at base colors doing this? Seems base color. So we want to lower the value, I assume that, and also the saturation. By the way, no. Let's go something. It was something like, we can always add other details like the edge and grime to kind of hide all of those rusty parts. I'm more worried about now, because I think that kind of works, is the direction of certain details. That's important too. I'm not super worried with just this rust, because it tends to be non-directional type detail. Every now and then you kind of see something that kind of points the tileable texture into a direction. That's when you want to. Ice-wise, looking at that, it works, doesn't it? Might make the size slightly, just ever so slightly. Turn down the height. This, and now it's very flat. If I add it back, lower the height ever so slightly. Let's see. Channels. No, just what channels are active. Technical parameters. Well, normal intensity. That does nothing. Height range. Height position. Those are definitely what we should be. I don't remember. Okay. Position. Let's keep it. A different HDR, because they tend to be very dark. I'm not sure why it's that dark. Where did I do that again? It's been such a long time since I looked at this. It's been so long that the UI is different. But I know there is a place to do it. Could be potentially display settings. Yeah, it's display settings. So we can play around with the environment map. The one we're using right now is the default one. Which one? That doesn't really tell us. It says panorama. Is that the one? I have a panorama or something. Either way, we're going to swap it out. And I do want to remember that there are these studio lights, which are a lot better to kind of reflect what we were looking for. Otherwise, we can try different environments, but I always feel like they're way too dark. Oh, really? I haven't used Marmoset in a while. Is that Marmoset 4 then? Right? They're on the 4th. Or have they even got on to 5? Oh, is there a cheap? Yeah. I agree. I personally enjoy working with their baking system a lot more than Painter. But Painter's been upgrading their stuff, but I don't know. Marmoset has always been spot on. Yeah. Then they did some, I think it was either 3 or 4, I believe it's 3, when they introduced a really good baking system, because you could paint onto the cage itself, which allowed you to be more precise. So you're saying that Marmoset is actually going the painter route of adding options to paint inside Marmoset? That would be awesome. Oh, wow. Should probably look into this. Although, unfortunately, I've agreed to sell my soul to Adobe. So we'll see, I might be free in a year or so. It's awful each time. There's no other choice. I do love working with their, well, it's not Adobe's, but they own it now. But Substance Designer used to be one thing I used to work a lot in. Really like working with nodes. More of a node guy than painting, actually, to be honest. Okay. I'm gonna leave the Rust as is. I'm not gonna finish the texturing this evening. You're referring to Marmoset? A 30-day free trial? I think I've used mine. I'll probably use this channel's email, because my private one I've used for the free trial. Yeah, right. Okay. I should probably... That could be a stream, actually. One evening to just try it out. That could be nice, because we already had something to bake. And if they have texturing stuff, that would be amazing. I mean, the rendering in the Marmoset is amazing, and it's such an easy thing to do. I used it for another one piece I have on my portfolio. Where are you? So this is my private portfolio. I used Marmoset to... no, actually, I didn't. Now that I look at it. It says Unreal. But I could replicate this type easily in Marmoset. No problems. It's so easy to add just like a fill light and rim lights, and you're done. I love to go back to Houdini. It's such a fun tool to work with. Creating these procedural stuff. So much fun. I don't have a reason to use it anymore, though. That's the problem. None of the projects I'm working on really requires this heavy of procedural approach. Really unfortunate. Oh well, no more reminiscing. And what were we? Yes, let's add some really, like in rendering stuff. Feels so out of the loop nowadays. It used to be more in tune with what's happening. But Sketchfab I never really used. Let's see. Yeah, well, I know of Sketchfab, and I know that's been free and very useful for artists for a long time. But I didn't know, though, that they had a rendering option. It used to be bad, but then someone decided that, no, let's step it up. It's kind of how I feel for... Okay. Probably should look into that, too. The way I felt about Blender before they upgraded to the... I want to say 2.7 something, or maybe even 2.6869, when they did this overhaul on the UI. Before that, I was not interested in Blender at all. It looked horrendous. The UI was one of the worst I've seen. And then they did that upgrade, and I was like, oh my god. Polylimit and materials, I can see that, yeah. I'm guessing require a lot of bandwidth or server capacity, whatever it's called, to store a ton of like polygons, or like if everyone, like if 500,000 people all of a sudden just push their stuff online. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. You have been, you only use it. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna personally use Sketchfab. I don't push my stuff up online anymore. Mainly because I'm working. I do have a job, so I don't really upgrade my portfolio that much. Probably a mistake, but who knows. But perhaps I should look into Sketchfab. I do prefer, for now at least, ArtStation. I feel like it's a good place to. There's more of a crowd. That's the correct term. On ArtStation, or maybe I'm mistaken, but that's my feeling at least. Let's see, do I have a cool tree? Ooh, wood rough. That could be something. Let's add you in. Just add you at the top. That's a look, isn't it? Let's add a black mask. Paint layer. You go between both. But are you using the pro version of ArtStation? Because that's what I did for a while. I used the pro version. I don't remember why I did it, but there were definitely plus of using ArtStation. I mean, if you're not actively looking for something, you don't need ArtStation Plus. But you don't see it now. That's fair. I don't remember why I chose ArtStation Plus. It had something to do with how to personalize your site, like your main page, and you can do that with a. Probably had to do with a personalized URL too. I think that was the case because I like the idea of having my name in the URL. Otherwise, it would be ArtStation something 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 my name. Now it's my name ArtStation instead. Yeah, definitely. There's rarely cases where you actually need to go paid stuff. I never heard of either one of these. Weebly and Framer. I have never heard of these. Are they similar to ArtStation stuff, or like portfolio pages or websites? Let's see. Wait. Wait, what's going on? Why is my metal rust wood? What happened there? Oh, so Squarespace bought them, made it worse, and yeah. I mean, not to get conspiratorial, but I assume Squarespace bought them up to get rid of a competition or something like that. Or perhaps similar to Adobe bought Substance stuff to use their tools. But it's one of those two, I guess. Can I top without destroying black man? That was a render issue, right? Yeah, I think so. 100%. It's a world out there. Fun. Ooh, I'm not sure about this. Ooh, that doesn't look good at all. Ooh. How do I fix that? Oh, that's terrible. That's the last thing you want, to have ads on your portfolio. Yeah, I bet. There's a time and place for ads, and it's, in my personal opinion, at least, not on a portfolio page. No. Let's take a step back. First of all, color-wise, this is way off. But I don't like the details. I'm not sure what to do with that, though. Okay. Framer. Okay. I'll go look it up. At the time, I'm not really interested in all this stuff, but it could be nice to have an option at some point. Oh, I mean, it looks professional at least. That's nice. Oh, so it's similar to Figma. Okay. I never used Figma, but I've seen it being used, and it seems very simple, or intuitive rather. Okay. You can sync with Notion. That's not bad. I do like working with Notion. Okay. I'll give it a try at some point. All right. I'll have a look at it. Yes. For now, I need to figure out what to do with this thing. That looks horrendous. The side, I'm trying to remember how tree or wood looks like. Don't have a good reference for that part. Dark. It's kind of smooth. That's perfectly fine. That's kind of why I'm doing this, right? If I just wanted to focus on work, I wouldn't be streaming. But that's perfectly fine. I kind of like talking with people too. It's always fun to hear. It's kind of moving in. Align it perfectly. Perhaps. I'm going to go nuts with something. Probably going to turn off height too. Let's try, rather than UV projection, we're going to go all in with triplanar. No. I don't think that's going to work. Right? They did introduce a way to move around, right? Ooh, that's kind of nice. Oh, sometimes tools are amazing. Wait. I mean, that looks great, but why aren't you colored? Oh, because it's not masked. Okay, that's not good. You're supposed to be, aren't you? Can't remember. I don't think our the solution was to do a triplanar. It's not perfect, but it's close. We're not thinking distance from the object. I think we could live with that, right? The color wise is going to have to change, but details wise, perhaps it's very cool. What did you have for lunch, Pounce? Something really soul heartwarming stuff, or soul, what do you call it? Do you have soul food in the US? I think you do, right? Probably where it came from, soul food. What's a good soul food? I think for me it would be Nutella. I'm absolutely addicted to Nutella. It's just a sad sandwich. Oh. You have 10 sad sandwiches, then you have a good Nutella. That's where you go. Meat and cheese. Hey, that's a classic. Ooh, limit. I do haven't used it in a while. It kind of the classic thing, right? You buy some kind of utility machine, you want to call it, to your kitchen, and you use it like all the time for a month. Then you put it away and never use it again. I bought a sandwich grill. It's called. You know, when you press two pieces of sandwich together with meat and everything between, of course. And I haven't used it in a long time. Probably should use it again, because you can make some really good stuff with like ham, pepperoni, salami, some. Ooh, what would be great? I guess sriracha would be good. Perhaps tomatoes. Been a while. Wood color. Why is that? Does. Yeah. I think. Wait, panini. I think that's the word for it. It's close to panini press. What could it be? One second. Be like this. It's more something like this. Tuckneys, hey, what's up? I'm going to try and mix everything. My experience is more on the art side, but I'm also working with technical stuff, and I want to make a game while on stream. So eventually, I will do some coding, and it's going to be mixed stuff. But for the foreseeable future, I'm mostly leaning into art things. But yeah, eventually I'll do some coding. I did some coding early on, but then I got stuck in the idea of where I want to go with my game, and just kind of halted that part. So now I'm doing art for the game just to keep it rolling, but I haven't really nailed the final like horror elements of the game I'm trying to make. Oh, it's such a good thing to have pounds. It's such an easy thing. You just throw some bread on it and some whatever you want on top, and you're fine. It's a nice question, Tuckney or Tuckneck, whichever one you want to go for. I mean, they're both there, so I assume you want either one. So for art part, or do you mean the coding, or in general? I do go with the kind of normal workflow of Blender, Substance Designer, or Painter stuff, and then to Unreal. And I use JetBrains Writer for the coding part. There's probably a few other softwares I use too, but those four are the main ones. Let's see that part anymore. All right, that's cool. Unreal 5 has a lot of potential, so it's one of those softwares that are really nice to know, and you have so many options. That's really cool. Then you're trying to make a game, or because there are other options you can do in Unreal. I assume it's a game. That's likely what 99% of people will use it for, but games, yep. Do want the tech demo from Witcher 4 to be reality, and soon. Holy shit, that part when they showed off the foliage stuff, insane. I'm going to be careful because I felt the same for Nanite when that came out. That didn't turn out too well, at least initially. It's a lot better now, but initially it did not fill all my needs at the time. But now, hopefully with the foliage thing and using volumetrics to keep track of things at a distance, I look forward to see what they can do with them. Not rough to this part. Select them. Gray. Okay, I can do that. That's cool. Probably shouldn't know that. Nope. None of these work. Back. Global distribution. As is. No, not yet. No. I kind of went indie and started working on my own stuff fairly recently. Been really into working on tools and creating environments. So I'm currently working as a technical environment artist. So I worked a lot of in Houdini and doing a lot of environmental modeling. But now I kind of like, I don't know, beginning of this year, I started to look into coding, decided I have a game in my head. I need to do it. And now it's the time because I'm not getting younger. And I do have the luxury to do it. Time-wise, financially, I can sit down without any fear of like losing stuff. It feels nice. And I also have another friend or a few friends that want to work on something else, which I also look forward to. And we're almost done with the GDD for that game. So hopefully I do want to show off what we plan on doing on stream. It looks like, I mean, from my perspective, I love the idea. And it's like this parody on the health industry. Yeah, in the end, it's about working out, right? And it's a parody of that idea. So we're going to do a lot of sarcastic remarks on people while they're working out. So I think the idea could be fun if we do it right. That's the duality of everything, right? If you do things right, it's going to work out. We'll see. I actually might want to lower the height. Where can I do that? Where's the height? Technical parameters? That'd be the one. That was the last one. Normal. Oh. Yes, we need to. It's probably quite smooth, right? The handle, an old handle will be very smooth, wouldn't it? This part, I can start seeing in the seams issues. I'm just going to probably turn off height. Yeah, let's just turn off height. And perhaps we can increase normal intensity instead. Vein sharpness. What's that look? That's kind of. I'm not sure if all of these things I'm doing shows on stream. It's quite subtle. Oh, that's kind of nice. Perhaps not that much. What was it? It's 0.25, so let's. Okay, but now the color though. Color isn't good. What can we do about the color? Use custom wood color. What does that mean? That's nice. Let's work with that. First of all, desaturate quite a bit. Increase the values. We want it quite dark. Perhaps not too dark because we can always add dirt to it. Grime and things like that. So perhaps we can keep it kind of light side. And just grime it out. I think that is our best shot. By the way, Pounds, I found a really nice lightweight recipe for a protein cookie dough peanut butter mix. I was so happy to find this because I tend to eat a ton of chocolate. You just gain weight. So when I found this lightweight protein version. And I was like, yes, that's my goal. I mean, it was such a simple thing. You kind of heat up peanut butter. And by the way, I use Skippy peanut butter. I'm pretty sure that's known in the US. You heat that up. You add some wheat flour, protein powder. What was the other one? Yeah, some Greek yogurt. I think that's it, actually. And then you mix it up. You can add some chocolate chips if you want to. But that was it. Then you ate that. It was so good. It's not the classic cookie dough. And I'm referring to the American cookie dough. We don't have that in Sweden. That's not a thing. But the American cookie dough, holy shit. That is addictive. I could eat that for days. Or till I die. Which would probably happen within an hour if I just allowed myself to eat whatever I want. But yeah, that's the thing I'm going to try for now. Just keep to that peanut butter stuff rather than going to the store and buy, I don't know how to translate into pounds, but 500 grams of chocolate, which is regular chocolate bar like this big. I usually do that every day. Otherwise, not good. I mean, calorie-wise, it's roughly the same, but it's proteins, right? Oh, everything's addictive in the US. I'm not going to deny that remark. I might be true. It's, yeah. Let's see. Okay. So something I wanted to try with this lantern. I'm going to use an opaque window, so you can't see in. Otherwise, it would usually have this thing, right? This, I'm not sure what to call it. Fluid box, the tinder box, that what could be called. I don't know. But chose not to use it. First of all, because it saved me time, but I think I could make some cool stuff with a opaque, emissive texture. I think I could have more control of the look by doing that rather than creating a glass material. Because glass tends to be annoying to make. I assume that would mean I need to add a layer. And, oh, how did you do that again? How did you activate the... God dang it. How do you create more channels on a layer? I can't remember. There's a way. There's definitely a way. No, it's really not. What is it? It's a window, right? Channel previous map. No. Toolbar. Could it be? No, it's not tool. Display setting. Shader setting. That's the one, right? I need to swap. Oh, that's outdated. Why is that base or default if it's outdated? No, I don't want to do it back. Of course. Of course. Triplanar, turn off. Awesome. Probably have to Google this. Let's see. That's all I had to say. Oh, of course, it's extra settings. Extra settings, you would then add a channel. There we go. Sounds. You do an emissive. sRGB? Is that supposed to be sRGB? Oh, yeah, of course, it needs to be sRGB. Let's see. Players. Group. Folder. Oh, I mean. Purple color, but try it out. Next will be a black mask. Paint layer. It's the select or polygon. So choose that one. And since it's overlapping UVs, we're all good. Of course, I need to adjust settings and everything, but that is, I think that's a good base, a good place to start. Or I do dumb, save. Let's see. Tint should probably, oh sorry, the emissive probably have more yellowish tone, right? Doesn't make sense. The whatever color that is. 10. Of course, we also need to keep layer purely for emissive, have another layer controlling the roughness. Add it to the same. Let's try the same. And control the emissive with the color, and that kind of makes sense. I assume it's an add multiplication or add operation. It's just an assumption, I'm not sure. Perhaps I should keep it off for now. Not sure. This is the first time I do it this way, so I'm not sure. Let's go with a... Let's try to recreate a glass material first. Without the opacity. Just looking for the roughness values. Add the dirt. Let's add the emissive afterwards. I think that makes... This is the first time I'm doing it this way, so I'm not sure best approach. I do want to add something like dirt, some rust that's probably started leaking over the corners or the edge. Of course, you have the gathering of dirt everywhere. Quickly add. Well, I'm gonna try white mask. Add the generator. Could be one that's just called dirt. My way of thinking right now, I should either go for a, well, I could probably go for both. I could go for a generic dirt layer that's on top of everything, which kind of unifies final mesh. I might need one dirt purely for the glass, or I'm probably going to need that, but that instead of a procedural one, I might have to paint instead. That could look better. Not sure. Certainly I am not. Well, I know one thing, it's not going to be this type of color of the dirt, so fix that part. Going to need a lot of tweaking, a lot of stuff I'm looking at. This part up here, it's pure white, not going to work. Crunch amounts. Keep it fairly hot. Crunch scale. That looks edge masking. To a lot more edge masking. I think. Seems like it's on the inside. How about that? Keep it this area. Micro details. Okay. Have your intensity. See if it, you know. Nothing. What are you? You're affecting color only. Do some roughness too. That is just metal case. Height. I don't think height, but try it out. Of course, this is way too much still, so dial it down quite a lot. Let's just try height. What does that do? No. I can use that. We are gonna use the emissive for him. Now, I'm thinking emissive channel should probably be activated purely to limit the other emissive channel on the layer below. But probably not. Let's do base. dirt. Call it dirt. It's called. So, I mean, this is not the best spot to leave it on, but time flies, and fortunately, I have to work tomorrow. I don't know why, but after each stream, whether or not I'm being active with chat or what doesn't really matter, but for some reason I can't go to bed after a stream. I'm not sure what's going on, but I feel like I need to watch some TV or just play some games. But sleep, no, it's not gonna happen. So let's try something else today, see if I can go to bed earlier. We could update the notepad. Which we should, right? So did we finalize the fake base textures painter? Did. And did we do some texturing? Oh, I guess we did, but call it up. Down. All right, so one thing I want to remember, I tend to forget, is to raid someone. Pounds, do you know someone that's worthy of well, thanks back at Jim Pounds. Do you know anyone? Otherwise, I'm just gonna find someone random on software. I'll wait. Feels they need a few people. No, you don't? Alright. I can just find someone that looks alone, working on something cool. Always someone, right? Well, I would love to raid him, but I'm not sure. He tends to be up his own ass when he gets attention. Oh, I saw myself and I was like thinking, oh, someone else is doing a lantern, but of course that's me. I need to remember how to do this too. So it's like this, right? Okay. All right, I'm just gonna pick someone and I'll leave it to you guys to see if it's worth it. All right. Well, with that, so thanks to everyone for showing up. If you like what I do, please give me a follow. And I also have a YouTube channel, every Kindle. I do upload all my VODs on the Kindle Studio on YouTube. So please, if you like what I do, have a look at that. And of course, Pounds, as always, love that you're here, man, and supporting me. And thank you to everyone. And have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you are. And I'll see you next time on Thursday.